So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to this very, very important segment where we talk about many things within the community. And today, what we're going to talk about is out of this world. It's mind-blowing. We are going to be talking to some youngsters. Yes, this is not a show for old people only. So, we know some of our youngsters doing us proud, doing so much out there. So, today we'll be talking to Shreyaa and Esha Venkat. They're the founders of Nest for US, which is a not-for-profit philanthropic platform, which is looking at addressing many issues which we have, especially 14 plus UN Sustainable Development Goals and societal issues. The issues are many. We'll hear from them, first of all, to see what these issues are and how they are tackling this. So once again, welcome to the show, Shreyaa and Esha.
Thank you so much. We're so excited to be here and are grateful for this platform, for the opportunity to share our story. So thank you for having us.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much for all the things that you do. But now, just for the benefit of our viewers and listeners, so what is Nest for? Is it us or is it Nest for US?
It's Nest for us.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, 7 years ago, my sister Shreyaa and I created an organization called Nest for Us, which basically aims to spread kindness and mobilize volunteers together for the greater good and to tackle those many issues like you mentioned. And we have 5 core programs where we tackle issues from hunger to climate change, education, and so much more along the spectrum.
And that is just amazing of what you're doing. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen. You've had it firsthand. Now, also, you've mentioned that you are 501c in bracket 3 not profit. Could you please explain a little bit about why and how is it different from just a normal not for profit?
Yes, of course. So as Esha mentioned, we are a nonprofit organization. So the specific term 501c3 basically means that we are a tax exempt organization. And so any donations that are provided for our organization are tax deductible. So that's a little incentive for people to support organizations like ours and just do a little good, through monetary contributions. But yeah, so that is kind of our legal title. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization based in Washington, D.C.
Okay, so the 501c3 not profit is probably equal. That's a US terms, of course.
Yes.
Yes. In Australia, that would be equivalent to DGR status for an organization, which means tax deductible recipient.
Yes.
Through IC and NC. So that's and of course, congratulations on getting that status, because even here in Australia, there are many not-for-profit organizations, but getting the DGR status where, any funds over $2 is tax deductible if donated to them. Once you have that DGR status, and there are stringent rules on organizations which can get that status, accountability and everything like that. Okay, so one of the things that really intrigued me was, you talked about sustainable goals and sustainability. So, what are the biggest challenges, globally? I know everyone's talking about climate change, but, more on a one-to-one basis. So, and what is being done about in that area, and how is your organization assisting?
Yeah, so we address, as Esha mentioned, over 14 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Some of the really key ones you had mentioned that kind of circle around sustainability, I would say, are definitely zero hunger and climate action, as well as tying that in with responsible consumption and production, and no poverty. Those are kind of like the central ones, which one of our programs, so we have 5 programs, one of them is called Nest Nurtures, and it's our zero hunger program. And that focuses on kind of linking all of these, sustainability SDGs. And so we do this through one of our sub-programs within Nest Nurture's our food recovery initiative. What that means is taking surplus food away from, corporate businesses, restaurants, schools, all this food that's going to be thrown away. But instead, we're redirecting it to homeless shelters and food banks and people who don't have enough to eat in order to avoid discarding this food into landfills and hence contributing towards excessive greenhouse gas emissions such as methane. And so that's kind of how we are working to address climate change as well as food waste, as well as global hunger and poverty. So we really try to utilize this dual approach of awareness plus action in order to do so, as well as engage. On our team, we have over 6,000 volunteers of all ages and backgrounds who have altogether contributed over $3 million in value of volunteer hours and have impacted people in over 30 countries across 6 continents. So the reach is there, and we really utilizing the power of people to make this impact in a very sustainable way.
And that is such a wonderful initiative. I've often wondered, many times I see, when you go to a big corporate function or something like the dinner, people eat so much and then so much is taken away. And you often wonder, it could feed a lot of people if there's someone who could take it in a timely manner from there to where it's needed. And congratulations on thinking of that initiative and moving in that direction. So that is just amazing. I know that many other things that people are more often talking about. Climate change is another topic. If we go into that, we'll be here for hours because I've often spoken on that subject on many people as well. So there's a distinct difference between evolution and what we have contributed to the environment. So part of that is evolution, which and nature, which is inevitable. But of course, there's a lot that we have contributed in as well. Now, getting back to your organization, of course, sustainability of any organization requires a lot of resources. When I talk about resources, human resources as well, financial resources, so how does your organization sustain itself?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have a lot of different partners in different sectors that help us run our 5 core programs. Because again, 5 programs running it, especially as a youth-led organization, can get tricky sometimes. So it's really important for us to get funds in numerous different ways and help support our organization in a lot of ways as well. So for example, we get different grants, we get also in-kind donations is a big thing for our organization. In-kind donations being like the food, the toiletries, the books, and other item-based donations that we get from just our regular community members. But we also depend on different things like corporate partnerships from organizations like Amazon. We recently did working with their team, which is really cool.
Okay, so moving on, I'd like to go to our next question. As we know, running any organization takes a lot of resources. So, you need, human capital, you need financial resources to run it. So, if you could explain how is, your organization sustaining itself?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, for us, we get our funding from a variety of different sources, from our community members to corporations, to other nonprofits. So there's really a lot of diversity of resources that are really helping us grow our 5 core programs, because especially since, we're both youth and running 5 core programs, a whole organization, it takes a lot of resources. So we're really grateful for all of our community support and helping us with getting items like food, clothes, toiletries, books, and things like that, as well as money to support all the different things that we do across the world. So, yeah.
And we really do utilize the power of people in kind of having a volunteer life cycle, in that we really leverage the power of youth leadership and having young people stepping up and being leaders, and then teaching other young people how to be leaders as well. So that really helps us be sustainable in the long run, because we're utilizing both, of course, adults are supporting us, and we have many, many adult volunteers who have been fantastic, but we also have adult volunteers working with our youth volunteers as well. And so I think that collaboration between adults and young people has been absolutely instrumental in the growth of our organization. And so that has definitely been, in terms of human capital, a big strength for us, kind of a driving force moving forward. So it's great.
And that is amazing to see the collaboration between the adults and the young ones as well, because I think both go hand in hand. The adults have a lot of experience and wisdom, while young have the energy and the vigor and the new idea, adapting to technology and using all those. So the collaboration of two is just wonderful. Now, there was one question, which has just come up when you were talking about adults and the youngsters. You two being so young and you're talking about youngsters. So what inspired you to do what you're doing?
That's a great question. And, it kind of goes back even when we were really, really little. Our parents would take us along to volunteer with them at different school and community library events, even when we were in elementary school. So it was very, very long time ago for us. And being able to get involved in these events and just see the joy on everyone's faces when we were in those spaces and volunteering together as a family, with my sister, my whole family, was really special. And so really a feeling that, can't be equated to anything else. And we felt like, this feeling, how do we tap into that feeling and make a space where other families and other friends can come in and volunteer and experience that same joy that we felt when we first started? So that's really where the idea of Nest for Us came from, was to create a space or a nest or a home for anyone to come in, for all of us. That's what the For Us means, for anyone to come in and experience volunteering for the first time, whether you're as young as 3 or 4 or as old as 70s, 80s, everyone's welcome to join our team. And anybody is welcome to receive our services as well. We don't discriminate on race, age, color, anything like that. Everybody is welcome. I think that's really special about our organization, and is really driving force for us is inclusivity, and also getting young people in the next generation involved in service, and start them off young, because we feel like when you're young, things tend to stick with you for a longer period of time. And since we started volunteering at an early age, it stuck with us for a while. So we hope it does for other youth as well.
That is so inspiring. I'm just, you two are trailblazers, true mentors, and especially looking at, young ones these days. There's so many different things that they could be doing, but, and when we look in the field of philanthropy, you always look at elderly people, who are in their later years, and then they start contributing to the community and things like that. But starting young, as you really mentioned, that age should not be a barrier if you want to come into this field. But I really believe that many people should follow your example, and you are setting up that example, which is very good to see, very heartwarming. Yes. Okay, so moving on. There are always many things that people have in mind and some sort of plans. So what are your immediate plans? We would like to see Nest for Us.
Yeah, that's a great question. We have so many plans. We are obviously currently in Australia right now, so we've been doing a lot of fun stuff here over the past few weeks. But we are also heading back to the United States, and we have cool service projects planned. We have our school supplies initiative currently going on. So we'll be packing school supply kits for underprivileged kids in our community throughout the next few weeks. So we're really excited about that. And then we kind of culminate at the end of the year. Obviously, we have different service projects in between as well, but I think our next big event that we host every year is called our Nest for Us Service Extravaganza. And that's basically an event where we not only honor and recognize our exemplary volunteers, but we also give a taste to our community of all of our different service projects, because usually during our, throughout the year, our regular service projects are, just one thing. So maybe just packing sandwiches or just doing toiletries. But at the Service Extravaganza, they get to try each and every one to see where, what they enjoy the most and what they want to continue doing, starting the next year round. And so we're really looking forward to that event. And we're excited for all that's to come.
Yeah. And don't worry if you're from Australia listening in, we have lots of virtual events as well for people all over the world to get involved in too. We have our global, we have our quality education program, Nest Tutors, as well as Nest Inspires, our leadership program, which has lots of different workshops and webinars on a variety of topics with really cool guest speakers and activists who come in and share their experiences and, have a good full-on group discussion that's intergenerational, intercultural, and international, which is awesome.
Wow, that is just amazing. just listening to you two, I'm so inspired. It's so good and heartwarming. So just before I let you go, the mindful of the time as well, your one final message maybe to the youngsters who are listening in. And I think that one of the key points that you've made there is today, nothing is in your own area, own territory. The whole world is your territory today now, with everything's virtually so. The final message for them.
Yeah, I love that. I guess for us, it would be always remember everyone has the power to make a difference. Doesn't matter where you come from, how old you are, any of that. You have to remember that you do have the power to make a difference in ways big and small, and that you all have the power to change the world.
Yeah, and if you're a young person out there who's looking to start something, maybe you have an idea in your head, don't be afraid to go out there and make their dreams a reality. You may face a few no's at first. I mean, I know that we did when we started, and everybody who starts something always faces some sort of backlash or anything like that. So always remember that, when one door closes, 3-4 more open up, and everything will work out in the end. So just keep going, keep working hard, and keep being consistent. And always remember, all it takes is, 30 seconds of kindness, and you can really brighten someone's day and make an impact.
So thank you so much for having us. We had such a blast on this station today. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining in and sharing that. So Shreyaa and Esha, keep up that wonderful work. It's so inspiring and it's just so good to see. Very proud of you. And, that makes us feel good that we are part of this community where we have youngsters like you. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
So there were, ladies and gentlemen, a wonderful interview there with Esha and Shreyaa from Nest for us. And it is wonderful to see the youngsters coming out and doing such wonderful work out in the community. If you are in any way able and capable of supporting, please log on to their website and support Nest for us. So there you are, another presentation on Australian Indian Radio. Until the next show, it's goodbye from us.